Hi, I'm Margo Danier, and this is my husband Scott, and we're from Wamedy, Wisconsin. And my husband and I thought about going to New Zealand for a while, so we thought we would plan a trip and take us on an adventure.
And so for us preparing for that, we have some stuff on the farm that we kind of have to get, organized. So got my partner, got him lined up to do things that I usually do, so he can, he took over. And my son, he is doing my part too, and I'm going to be gone in the mornings because I ain't going to be here for 2 weeks. So it's a long time, but it's going to be a hectic time because we're going to start calving all of our beef cows. And I'm usually the one that's watching them, so he's going to kind of take control of the ropes there this year. And my partner, he's going to be, getting the machinery ready because it's kind of that time of the year to start putting the planters together and make sure everything was working. We own 700 acres. We probably crop 800 with hay and corn and beans. And we raise 100 beef cows, we raise steers, and I guess probably our biggest entity here is the poultry, which would be turkeys. We're one of the few turkey farmers. And we have 6 barns, which keeps us pretty busy.
We're going to be in New Zealand on Easter, which is fall over there, so that's a little different because Easter here in Wisconsin is spring.
It's 5 years waiting, and we're on our way to get ready to New Zealand. From the cities to LA is like a 3.5-hour flight. And then from LA, we flew, was like a 11.5 to 12-hour flight, which I've never done before. It's a long time on an airplane, but it wasn't bad. So we flew into the North Island of New Zealand, which would be Auckland, and then we went to the South Island, Queenstown, where we landed.
And as we're flying in, you spiral down into a circle into Queenstown, and you see these mountains, and the clouds are in the mountains, which is just gorgeous. We get into Queenstown and we land, and the leaves are turning kind of a yellowish orange, and the mountains are there, and the smell of fresh pine is just amazing.
So we just started doing a little tour. All of us walked around, checked out the lakefront. A very pretty lake. The town is set right on the edge of the lake, and people are very nice there. A lot of tourists in this town. It's a tourist town, but very nice. It's laid back. Here everything's, as you notice, is kind of rush. That's kind of our thing. So yeah, New Zealanders do have a saying that we've learned pretty quick is no worries, mate. So it means basically settle down and relax. Day 1 or day 2, I think it was, we went up the gondola, up the mountain, right behind Queenstown, right in Queenstown. It was a very pretty gondola ride up, very steep, straight up, And we get up there, and there's a luge we took first. It's just a small luge to go down a cement luge run. So we did that, and then as my wife was watching us on top, and she kind of points to the paragliding, and I'm like, yeah, let's do that.
They suit you up, and there's a guide that sits behind you. They buckle you up well, and they say, okay, when I tell you to run, you're going to run. Well, you're looking at a mountain, and there's a drop-off. You see Queenstown down below, and there's a drop-off. Of course, I'm kind of short, so I had 2 guys with me trying to get me up, so I'm running, and they're picking me up, and my feet are just running in the air, and you run off this mountain, and the paraglide guy, he takes over, but lo and behold, I screamed the whole way. I was terrified. And after I settled down a while, it was pretty amazing to see. You're just gliding just peacefully like a bird.
I got all harnessed in there, and we had to wait for the wind, a little bit of a wind, tailwind, to get behind you. And then all of a sudden he says, oh, we're leaving. So you basically just start running 10, 15, 20 steps at the most, and you're up in the air moving. And you get out there, like she said, it's really peaceful. You know, and everything's going good. And, you know, they're making you, look at the Queenstown, doing a nice circle. And all of a sudden he does a little quick dive, you know, like, ooh, oh yeah, that gets your heart going. And, you know, I'm not real keen on all that, but he did another one, and I was like, oh, this ain't so bad. And then he basically turns you upside down on the paraglide, and that's a little bit scary. I would definitely recommend it, and I would probably do that one again. So it was a great time.
The next day we decided that we were going to do the Fox Canyon swing, and we signed up, and they take you by a bus. You get there and they're harnessing you up and strapping you up well, and they put a helmet on you. And
yeah, so then it was my turn. They got me harnessed up and set you out there, talking to you, taking your pictures. They're trying to calm me down a little bit anyway. Hooked up to your zip line. Then you get to the other side and you reel you in with a rope or some gadget they have to reel you in, which takes a long time. I get over there and we were wondering who's next. Like, I wonder who's gonna go next. And we could hear who was coming. It was Margo. She was pretty scared, and well, rightfully so, because it was a scary thing.
Good. Come and stand just here for me. You can hang on to this blue part right here.
oh boy.
Doing good. Halfway there. And then big smiles over there, okay?
oh boy.
Alright. Alright. In 10. 3.
Oh no, don't count.
Don't count?
Oh, I don't want to go.
You don't want to go? Alright. Well, we're going to go anyway.
Oh.
It's going to look really good, alright?
Oh my God.
I should not be laughing at this.
And yeah, I screamed the whole time. I was terrified, but that was a bet I made with my son Brandon, and I got $100 off of it, and I will never do it again. But it's off my bucket list, and I'm glad I did it.
I don't know if I would do it again, but I'm glad I did it. It was fun. If I was to sum it up, I would say that everything was well worth it, first of all. I guess the best part would be, for me, is the hunt together with my wife, the red stag.
Looking back on the trip to New Zealand, I would highly recommend it. Going halfway across the world was well worth it. Watching Scott harvest his red stag, and being away from the kids and your family for a while it was hard, but it was well worth it.